At the edge of the universe, where light itself begins to forget how to shine, humanity found something waiting. It called itself God. Every species knelt in silence, but the humans asked for a pen. Before we continue, please support us to subscribe for more upcoming tales. They said the end of the universe was unreachable, a horizon that could only be seen, never touched. But humans were never very good at listening. The Odyssey 9, a Terran deep-range exploration vessel, was built for one purpose: to find what existed beyond the observable edge. It carried 12 humans, 3 synthetic minds, and one purpose no other species dared claim: curiosity. For 27 years they traveled through the dark between galaxies, past the noise, past the radiation storms, past everything science had words for. And then, one day, they stopped. The void wasn't empty. Before them stretched something impossible. A shimmering wall of light and thought, woven like liquid glass. It pulsed with rhythm, not random, but deliberate, like a heartbeat too large for comprehension. Sensors died instantly. AI cores froze mid-calculation. Only the human crew remained conscious. Captain Mara Ellison stood on the observation deck, eyes wide as the impossible shifted shape, colors no retina could define, geometry folding like thought. Then it spoke. Not in sound, not in translation, in understanding. "You have come far, little sparks." Every species in the galaxy had legends about this voice: the source, the architect, the prime field. The Volans worshipped it, the Thraxes feared it, the Alir believed it judged the worthy, but humans, they called it an opportunity. "You are God?" Mara asked carefully. "That is one of your words. It will do." The crew exchanged nervous glances. Their AI cores remained offline, unable to quantify the being. It was beyond measure, beyond reason. "Each civilization," the voice continued, "is granted one question when they arrive. I will answer truly. Choose carefully." The crew went silent. Billions of years of belief hung in the air. On the comm line, the ship's engineer, Joe Vega, whispered, "So, we get one question from the literal creator of existence, and no one told me to bring notes." Mara smirked despite herself. "This isn't the time." Joe raised an eyebrow. "Captain, it's exactly the time." The crew gathered in the briefing room. Recorders were useless, so they wrote everything down on paper, real paper, a superstition among explorers. The physicist, Dr. Kai Rao, leaned forward. "We could ask what dark matter truly is, the structure of the multiverse, the origin of entropy. Or," said Joe, "we could ask if cats actually understand us." Someone laughed, and the tension broke. Mara smiled. "We're the first of our kind to meet this thing. Let's not embarrass the species." The team debated for hours. Philosophy against science, science against wonder. Every idea seemed both profound and absurd. Finally, the communications officer, a quiet woman named Alina Reyes, said softly, "Why not ask what it wants?" The room fell silent. "Maybe," she said. "If it made all this, maybe it's lonely." No one spoke for a long moment. They returned to the bridge. The being still pulsed, patient, endless. "Have you chosen your question?" it asked. Mara took a breath. "Not yet. But before we do, could we ask a few follow-ups first?" "Follow-ups?" "Yeah," Joe said, stepping forward, flipping open a small notebook. "We, just have some clarifications." The infinite presence shimmered. "Clarifications?" "Yeah," Joe continued. "When you say created, do you mean deliberately or like cosmic side effect? And if you're everywhere, how does consciousness scale? Also, are we talking simulation or—" The light trembled as if confused. "You question?" "Of course we do," Joe said cheerfully. "We're human. We take notes." And that was when it happened. The impossible laughed. The light flickered, waves of color rippling outward, stars blooming in the dark like sparks of joy. "No one has ever spoken to me this way," it said. "The others, bowed. They wept. They begged for eternity. You inquire. Mara nodded slowly. We don't do well with authority. You made me amused. Do you understand what that means? We're not sure, said Joe, scribbling rapidly. But it sounds promising. The being began to change, taking on a shape roughly human, not because it was flesh, but because it wanted to be understood. Very well, it said. You may ask as many questions as you wish, but understand, each answer will change you. That's fine, Mara replied. We're already a work in progress. And so, humanity began its conversation with God. They spoke of physics first, then emotion, then time, and why consciousness clings to it. Every answer unraveled old truths. But instead of worship, the humans responded with curiosity, diagrams, laughter. Sometimes, they disagreed. That can't be right, Dr. Rao muttered once. Entropy can't just want to exist. It does, said the voice gently. The universe is a story, and every story longs for an ending. Then we'll write a sequel, Joe said, half joking. And again the being laughed. Centuries seemed to pass in those conversations, though the crew never aged. They learned that reality itself was not built on energy or matter, but on questions. Each time something asked why, the universe expanded a little more to make room for the answer. So curiosity, Mara whispered, is creation? Yes, said the voice, and in that you are my reflection. You mean, Joe said softly, we remind you what it's like to wonder. The light dimmed. For the first time, the infinite seemed humble. Perhaps I made you, it said, so I would not forget. Eventually, it was time to go. Will we remember this? Alina asked. When we return. You will remember enough, said the being, and so will I. Mara hesitated. You said every species gets one question. Did we ever ask ours? The light shimmered like a smile. You did. You asked me to talk, and no one ever had. The Odyssey 9 emerged from the dark centuries later, to a galaxy that had moved on. Empires had risen and fallen, but when humanity's transmission reached the Council of Worlds, every species stopped to listen. A voice, calm, human, and amused, echoed across the stars. We found God. It was nice. We had questions. Oh, and it laughed. Maybe that's what makes us human. Not the need to rule or fight or even believe, but the need to ask. Because every time we do, the universe gets a little bigger. Don't forget to subscribe for more human stories among the stars.